Welcome back. I'm Emily at Emily's podcast, Tribute to All Little Angels, Part 4, Episode 6 of Refresh Our Memory. April 8th, 2022, 6:35 a.m. I receive a message from Summer, but I didn't see it until I woke up. Summer wrote her newborn niece's name and her weight. She wrote, I'm sorry I didn't message you back last night. I have a lot going on at home. I then thank God for waking me up. And I feel okay. I feel I have nothing to worry about. 8:07 a.m. I wrote Summer back. I wrote, beautiful name and good weight too. I bet she's precious. And congratulations, Auntie. I wrote, I have a question. Do I call this woman back today? I will have my daughter and my great niece here to listen. I hope you don't mind me asking you questions on things. And Summer, I'm sorry you are going through so much. I don't want to put more on you. I appreciate you and I'm so grateful for your help. Stay positive no matter the situation. Think it, speak it, do it. Positivity does come back to you. And have a great day. Summer wrote, definitely precious and makes me want another one. I don't mind you asking me anything. You have a good day also. I wrote, aw, baby fever. I wish you the best for all. And I may have an extra set of ears to listen in. I got to do this right, and I'm hoping for the best for all involved. 11:36 a.m. Patty called. We didn't talk long, but I asked her if she received my message. Patty said no. What was it? I said I received a call yesterday from the city. Patty said, oh, wow, Em. I said, I know. I missed the call, though. I did listen to the voicemail. So I thought before I call the city back, I will have someone here with me to listen to the conversation. So Carla and Madison will be off work later, and I will call them then. Patty said, wow, Em. They know they are in trouble if they are calling you. Why else would they call? I said, that's what I thought. Why would they call me? Patty and I talked a few more minutes and hung up. When Madison came in from work, we went to the cemetery. 12:48 p.m. Madison pulled in the cemetery, and it was like there's a haze hanging over it. It's almost an eerie feeling. It was an eerie feeling sitting here with Wyatt. Madison then pulled around the corner to visit Megan. We sat and talked with her, and I prayed to her. I cried sometimes too. While sitting here, it feels odd. I feel at peace. It feels good too. But this is not the feeling I was feeling a few minutes ago. When we left the cemetery, I told Megan and Wyatt we loved them, and we left and went home. 1:16 p.m. I called Carla to see where she's at. Her and her dad were out eating, so we will wait for her to get here. 1:48 p.m. Madison and I waited for Carla, but she didn't show. So Madison asked me to call and that she would listen. 2:04 p.m. I called the City of Moore number, which was to call her back on the message, but no one answered. To me, that was odd. I'm a little disappointed because she did say she had some questions for me, and now I don't know what she could possibly ask. And now it's the weekend, and I will have to wait until Monday. And the rest of the afternoon, Vanessa, the lady who called, didn't call back either. 3:53 p.m. Carla called. She said I got held up. I was busy and I just got home. I said, oh, you're all right. I called already and no one answered. Carla said, "Really? I'm sorry I didn't come over there for you to call." I said, "No, you're all right. Madison was here, so she was listening." Carla and I talked a few more minutes and we hung up. Later this afternoon, Madison left to pick up her little sister Zoe. While being home for the evening, my mind is wandering. I'm emotional. The emotions are running high at times. And then a thought. I don't know what I've done wrong throughout this, but I do know what they did wrong. And who do you tell when no one cares to listen? When I was finally able to sit down, I start crying. I start praying. It's like a personal moment with God, and I prayed to Him. I prayed for Him to give me a sign that it will all be okay, that I will be okay. I will be able to live my life. A few minutes later, I feel a need for a piece of chocolate. I stood up out of a chair and walked into the kitchen. I have chocolates in a baggie in the fridge. I took a peanut butter cup egg because it was close to Easter. I grabbed a Dove candy, a chocolate and caramel, and a Hershey's Hug, two of my favorite candies, chocolate and caramel and the hugs. I walked back to the chair to sit down and I opened the peanut butter egg first. Chocolate seems to help when I feel stressed. Then I opened the Dove candy. These candies have messages inside. This was the only one I had left of the Dove's candies, too. I opened it. I bit a piece off the corner to let the caramel ooze out. Then I spreaded the foil open to read the message. It had three small words. And remember, I just had the personal moment with God. The message said, "You got this." And my heart dropped, and I felt at peace and thought to myself, I sure in the hell do. And excuse me, God. And I'm crying, of course. I looked up and said, "Thank you. Thank you, my angels. Thank you, dear God. And I love you." And I sat and cried like a baby. April 9th, 2022. My first thought I have after I thanked God this morning was, I'm nervous. Not for me, but I feel bad for everyone involved. It pisses me off, and I know I was brought this, and God will see me through it, just as everyone else. I start my day. Madison left for work. Zoe, my next to youngest granddaughter, Megan's next to youngest sister, is here and wants to go hang out with her friend. So I took her over there, and on my way home, my phone rang, and it's Carla. She said, "Are you at home? I'm in front of your house. I have to work at 5, but thought I would come by to see you before I go." I said, "I'm not at home yet, but I will be." Carla said, "All right, I will wait for you." I said, "All right." And when I got home, Carla is here, waiting. She came in to visit until she had to go to work. She asked, "Do you want to ride with me?" And of course I said yes. And I am glad she invited me to go. And thank you, Carla, for saving me this evening. Instead of me at home stressing and crying about all of this, I escaped it for a while. And Carla saved me from that. 10:36 p.m. when I got home, I'm ready for bed. I took a shower and hit the mattress. I said thank you, God, and said good night. April 10th, 2022. When waking up this morning, I feel the weight has been lifted. I had breakfast and start my day. I took Zoe to her friend Juliana's house. Juliana had spent the night with us, so they are ready to go back to her house. I dropped them off, and my granddaughter and her husband Jose and my two perfect great-grandbabies called to say they were coming over. I stopped on my way home to get pizza, and when I arrived home, they were here, and I'm happy to see them. I love and adore all my babies. We visit a little bit. They shot a game of pool, Jose and little Jose against Samantha and Olivia. I'm not sure who won, but I do know Olivia, 5 years old, is getting pretty good. We then decide to go outside to sit on the patio. We've played Flip the Bottle Upright, then we all played I Spy, and we played for hours. The kids were getting tired, but we did have fun. So much fun. When they got ready to leave and I saw them go down the road, my heart is full. My heart was full and my mind was calm the whole weekend. And I thank God for not letting me stress about waiting for Vanessa from the city to call back. April 11th, 2022. The morning is calm and I'm beginning to feel the weight is gone. I'm thankful for that too. And I do pray the city comes to their senses, fixes it for the people, owns up to what they have done, and tells the truth as to where Megan is. I pray. Madison is off work today, so we have errands to run. We took her prom dress in to get hemmed, and when we left the Martinizing store, we went to have lunch and went to the cemetery. The workers are here and looks like they are to set in a headstone. They didn't even look our way. Madison pulls up to Megan first so I could take pictures from the passenger side of the car. Then we went to the back side of Wyatt and around to the front side of him. Madison pulled up to Wyatt and we sat in the car. And because the workers are here, we didn't get out of the car. When we left the cemetery, we went home. And I'm able to relax. And while sitting here thinking, I asked Madison, how do I trust them again? How do I trust to believe what they say? Madison said, you can't, and no one else will either. 3:28 p.m. Carla called. We talked for a little bit before she left for work. I told her those two questions I just asked Madison. She said, right, yeah, but Aunt Em, they do need to fix it. I said, oh, I know they do, but will they? I don't know those people, and this is not Megan's fault. Mine neither. I knew John at the funeral home from the city, not personally, but business. I had the highest respect for him, for the whole funeral home. I would sit at the cemetery and listen to the birds chirp. I would sit on the benches they sat in and have lunch, read, whatever. But they took that from me, and I don't even know what I did to have it taken from me or why it was. And by this time I have tears in my eyes and I'm choked up. And I wrote this story down on paper to help me to feel better. And when I was done writing, I did feel better. And thank you, Carla, again. I feel the weight has been lifted a little bit every day since I received the response from the Attorney General. At 4:40 p.m., just a thought. It comes from the heart. 5:19 p.m. Carla messaged. She wrote, I'm coming over. No more route. Got wine? I still get paid though. I wrote, okay, yeah, and yes, I've got wine. Carla wrote, yep, I hope I'm not crashing your night. A few minutes later, Carla pulled up in front of my house and we sat in the kitchen talking. Then the CMTs came on and we moved into the living room. We watched the program and drank a glass of wine. Or, well, for Carla, it was like 2 or 3 glasses. But anyway, we ate dinner that Madison brought in for us, and we had a good evening. And I needed this. April 12th, 2022. Of course, when I woke up this morning, I thanked God. And not long after I got up and started my day, 9:26 a.m., Carla messaged. She wrote, "Good morning. I love you. And I pray for this case to get resolved." I wrote, "Thank you. Have a good day." Carla wrote, "You too." 9:55 a.m., I messaged Summer. I wrote, "I called the lady back Friday at 2:04 p.m. No one answered the phone. I thought since she had questions for me, and I have no idea why she wouldn't call me back, but she hasn't. It's just kind of odd to me and not very professional." Summer wrote, "Good morning. I hope they get their crap together." I wrote, "I hope so too. I really hope so. And thank you again, Summer." Summer wrote, "You're welcome, and keep me updated, and I hope all goes well." I wrote, "Oh, yes, yes, I will let you know, and I hope so too. And it's just odd to me this girl received a packet of the cemetery case information in the back seat of a rental car, and she has helped me with where it's going now. And I have mentioned the similarities between her and my family, and that's really weird. And not knowing this girl before, but only through messages now, and her giving me advice, it is weird." April 13th, 2022. When I was awake this morning, I knew it was going to be a rough day. I prayed to God before I even opened my eyes. I lay here thinking, and I must be doing something wrong with all of this. I start to cry, and I opened my eyes and I saw the time on the clock. And I had to ask myself, why am I awake at 6:32 a.m.? I feel like I'm being punished for something. I said to God, "I'm sorry for every little thing I've ever done wrong." And when you're tested like this, believe me, you ask yourself all kinds of questions. I got out of the bed to open the shades in the front room to let the sunshine in, to try to feel better. And I laid back down and prayed. I prayed for the city to come to their senses and put the headstones where they go, or at least let the others be aware of it. And most of all, tell me 100% where Megan is. My heart is heavy again. And then I thought, happy heavenly birthday, my pops. My next thought is, I haven't heard from the city, and I didn't call them either. But like Madison said, they may not have wanted to talk to you. They just wanted to be able to say they called. I thought, yeah, that makes sense and doesn't surprise me either. 3:52 p.m. Patty called. We talked a little bit and I had to let her go. 5:03 p.m. I called Patty back and I told her before I had a story to read to her. She told me about a letter she had received in the mail, and we talked about that. Then Patty said, "Okay, read me your story." I read it to her, the story of the personal moment between God and I. Patty said, "Wow, Em." I said, "Yeah." And all they had to do was own it, fix it. I told them in the beginning I could have helped them move the headstones back because of the pictures I had taken over the years. And I'm a reasonable person. We could have worked it all out, but they didn't. They want to lie and then had to cover up their lies. Patty said, "I know, Em. They do need to fix it. Then they need to take care of what they did." I said, "Oh, I know they do, but will they?" And I start to cry. Patty could tell because she asked if I was okay. And of course I said, "Yes, I am. It's just so darn emotional on some days." The Friday after I had that moment with God, I felt at peace. Saturday I was good too. Sunday too. Monday I was good. Yesterday I was good. But today when I woke up, my heart is heavy. And I've been trying to ignore the feeling, but at times it gets the best of me. Patty listened. We talked a little longer, and then our connection was going south, so we hung up. And that's the brilliance of our technology. And it's quiet now, and I'm enjoying it. April 14th, 2022. This morning is easier getting started today. 1 week since Vanessa from the city called, I still don't know the questions she needed to ask. She hasn't called me back. I tried to call her back last Friday, and I'm sorry, but that's all I can give them. And as the afternoon moved on, 4:03 p.m., Carla called. We were talking, and as she talked, I thought, maybe I need to go with her this evening. I asked her if her dad is going with her tonight. Carla said no, he hates going. I said, oh, do you want me to go with you? And she sounds excited when I asked, then said, do you want to go? I said, yeah, I will go. Carla said, okay, let me get a couple things done and I will be there. I said, all right, I will be ready. And we hung up. April 15th, 2022. Madison is off work today, so we went to the cemetery. 1:21 p.m. I pull into the cemetery, hoping and praying no one from the city is here. I stop at Megan's first and I took pictures. I took some pictures of the dates of death of some of the headstones, and they were here before Megan. I talked with Megan, then as I got back in the car, a city truck is pulling up the road behind me. I drove on with him behind me, and he turned onto the street between Megan and Wyatt and went into the park. I drove on until I saw him turn, then I pulled around to where Wyatt is. We visit with him from the car, then I pulled up the road and back to see Megan again. I told them both we loved them, and I pulled away. I'm driving down the road, and it's quiet. I feel a tear run down my cheek, and I knew I needed to pull it together to get home. And I did. When we got home, Madison is ready to go have her pictures taken with her friend Avi, and I stayed home to clean. 7:16 p.m. A thought came to mind. Thank you, dear God, for lifting the weight. And I mean, I can tell it has been lifted. Now I need guidance to get through this. Guide me to know how. And thank you for this day. April 16th, 2022. The weight. I thank God for the weight even being lighter today. I know it's not over. It just doesn't seem like the burden is so heavy like it has been before. Madison left for work, and I'm home alone, and it doesn't seem like it's as stressful as before. And thank God for that. I thought about messaging Summer this morning to let her know I haven't heard anything. But then I thought, hey, it's Easter weekend. I will wait until Monday unless she messages me first before then. 5:19 p.m. My friend stopped by. We were talking about one of his friends being investigated, a background check. I said, oh, I'm sure they've investigated me too. My friend said, yes, I'm sure they have, or are, and they are mad because there's nothing there. I said, right, but I've had my background checked before. I don't worry about stuff like that. He said, right. I said, and everyone keeps asking me, have you heard anything? Have you called them back? I said, I called her back Friday, the day after she called, and there was no answer. And I don't feel that I should chase them down to ask me questions. If they or she has questions for me, she can call me back. My friend said, don't call them. Let them call you. I said, I am. I'm not calling. That's all I can give. He said, right. You're a smart lady. I said, thank you. April 17th, 2022. Good morning. Happy Easter. After I had gotten dinner started, and when it was done, Madison is on lunch break from work, and yes, she worked today. I boxed her dinner up and I picked her up from work and we went to the cemetery. 3:22 p.m. I pull into the cemetery and I pull up to Wyatt. Although when I passed Megan, I looked over at her area and told her Happy Easter, baby. I love you. We sat with Wyatt for a little bit, and not too many people are out here today. I told Wyatt Happy Easter and I love him, and I pulled away to visit Megan. As I pull up, I'm crying, and I ask her and the others for help to get this done. As I'm talking to her, Madison said, "It's 3:33." I looked up at the clock on the radio and I said, "Thank you, Jesus." And I'm still crying, but I knew then it will be all right. God gave me the okay. We left the cemetery, and not long after, I dropped Madison back off at work and I went home. 5:05 p.m. my grandson called, wanting me to bring him a plate of food. His mom, my daughter-in-law, is sick, so she's staying close to home, which is a good thing. I boxed up the to-go boxes and took them to my son's family. I love you all and Happy Easter. When I got home, and I have a message from Nicole, my daughter, Megan's mother. Her and her family, are on their way over. When they arrived, we had a good visit. Nicole helped me clean up, and I'm ready to relax. And thank you, babies, all of you. And thank you, dear God. And thank you for listening. Stay kind with your words.